Hi everyone, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Before we begin today, I want you to take a deep breath and open your heart. Because today's story isn't just another story, it's a testimony of God's faithfulness. And let's go ahead and get started. I was born into a family that did not know God. My parents were devout practitioners of shamanism, and my father was a well-known shaman, deeply involved in rituals and black magic. Before me, my parents had 3 children, but each one passed away between birth and 2 years old. When I was born, the cycle seemed doomed to repeat itself. At just 3 days old, my tiny body turned blue, and my parents feared they would lose me as well. In desperation, they sought out a Christian pastor in the next town, someone they had only heard about in passing. With no other hope, they placed me in his hands and he dedicated me to God. Immediately, I was healed. Yet, as time went on, my parents fell back into their shamanistic ways, forgetting the miracle that had just taken place. At the age of 1, my family fled Laos, seeking safety in Thailand. The journey was treacherous. We walked through dense jungles, setting up temporary camps along the way. One night, our camp was ambushed by communist soldiers. In the chaos, everyone ran. My mother, carrying me, was shot. The same bullet that took her life pierced my arm. For 3 days, I remained by her lifeless body, too weak to move, too young to understand. On the 3rd day, my sister returned to gather belongings and found me still clinging to life. My mother was quickly buried, and my father carried me on his back as we pressed on toward Thailand. Hunger was unbearable. Without my mother's milk, I cried endlessly, threatening to give away our position as we passed by villages. To silence me, I was drugged with opium. My father, believing I would not survive, left me under a bamboo tree, thinking it was my final resting place. Yet each time they moved forward, they found themselves walking in circles, passing me again and again. On the 3rd time, my father picked me up and carried me forward. Now, looking back, I see that God was with me even then, guiding my steps when I could not walk on my own. When we finally made it to the United States, my life took a different turn. I was born a child shaman, quickly developing abilities to see, know, and feel things beyond the understanding of others. My father saw this as a sign and trained me in his dark arts. People came from all over seeking my rituals for healing. My father, who had no sons, raised me as a boy, grooming me to take over his role. But deep down, something in me resisted. I knew I was a girl, and I knew I was meant for something more. I began to rebel. I no longer wanted to practice shamanism. I started going to church with a friend, drawn by something I couldn't explain. But the internal battle raged. I didn't know how to handle the change, and my confusion turned into anger. I lashed out, disobeyed my father, and eventually joined a gang. I fought anyone who mistreated me, stole cars, vandalized property, anything to fill the void inside me. Eventually, I was arrested and sent to juvenile hall. Out of anger and desperation, I married young. My husband was a born-again Christian, and our first 7 years together were a battlefield of spiritual warfare. I was still tormented, still oppressed. There were nights when demons took hold of me, whispering dark thoughts. I nearly sacrificed my own children. I nearly took my own life. But my husband, a man of faith who studied spiritual warfare, never gave up on me. He prayed over me. He fought for me. Little by little, the darkness loosened its grip. Years passed. I built a successful career, becoming COO of a major financial company. My life looked perfect: an adoring husband, well-behaved children, wealth, luxury. I gave generously, held church leadership positions, tithed faithfully. Yet deep down, I had never truly surrendered to God. My faith was built on routine, not relationship. And then everything changed. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. The world I built came crashing down. My wealth, my status, none of it could save me. I was angry at God. Why would he allow this? Then, on Valentine's Day, my husband handed me a Bible. As I unwrapped it, anger burned inside me. Did he not see my suffering? Did he not recognize my faith? We argued, and in my pride, I spat words meant to wound. He simply responded, I beg you to take this and study it, not for me, not for the children, but for you. The Bible says if you love someone, be patient, teach them, lead by example, and pray for their salvation. Because I love you, I want to see you in heaven with me. Those words haunted me. I picked up the Bible and read it from cover to cover 3 times, but I found no answers. On the 4th time I broke, I cried out to God, repented, and surrendered completely. I prayed, God, if I live for just one more day, let that day be for your glory. If you allow me to be healed, I will live only for you. And then the miracle happened. I was healed, completely cancer-free. God restored my health, my heart, my soul. I returned to my company, not as COO, but as CEO. Yet none of it mattered anymore. Every penny I earned, every breath I took was for Him. Every challenge became an opportunity to give Him glory. I no longer lived for myself, but for Christ alone. Here's the life lesson that I learned. God had been pursuing me all along. From the moment I was born, through the jungle, through my rebellion, through my suffering, He was there. Even when I turned away, He never left me. He allowed trials not to punish me, but to bring me home. Encouragement. No matter how far gone you think you are, God's love is greater. No past is too dark. No sin is too great. No wound too deep for Him to heal. His mercy is endless. His grace is sufficient. If He could redeem me, He can redeem anyone. Challenge. I challenge you to search your heart. Are you truly surrendered to God, or are you holding on to pride, fear, or control? Don't wait for suffering to wake you up. Seek Him now. Cry out to Him, and He will answer. He is waiting to turn your ashes into beauty, your sorrow into joy, your darkness into light. Give Him your whole heart. He is worthy of it all. These are real experiences from Hmong women just like you, mothers, wives, and daughters, walking through life with faith, fear, and courage. As you are listening today, may you be encouraged, uplifted, and reminded that you are not alone. God is always working, even in the waiting.